So for Trevel's fourth and final literacy goal, it's that after having a story read to him, he'll be able to touch pictures in the story. And additionally, that he will be able to put a picture from the book that has been copied, that I can send you, that has been cut into 2 to 3 pieces into sequential order. So there's 2 pieces of this one. For the book part, you could do something similar to the third reading goal, which is that if there are 2 different pictures on a page, you could ask him, where's the bunny? And he should be able to find the bunny. If you hit a point where there's a lot of things happening on the page, then you should scaffold it back and just kind of cover up a portion of it. So back with this example of Pete the cat. You said, where's Pete? And this side's white, so there's not a lot going on. But then this side has a cat on a bike. First, you'd have to explain Pete is a cat. So instead of saying, where's Pete, you would say, where's the cat? Or where is the bike? And he's supposed to be able to find it. But on each page, you could just ask him a question. Like you'd read, Turtle has a new race car. Who wants to have a race, he says. And then you could show him and say, where's the race car? Because you just used the word race car. Or you could say, where's Turtle? But if you don't talk about the cat or Pete at all on this page for this example, you shouldn't ask a question about it because that's not what he's been listening to you say. So if you read about the turtle has a new race car, who wants to have a race, he says. Then you say, where's the cat? He'd have to process, like, I just heard this information about a race car. I heard it about a turtle. I haven't thought anything about a cat. I'm not looking for the cat. And also he might just kind of touch it like this. You want him, you could prompt him and say one finger and have him point to the one thing. But it looks a little bit better if there's a separation between things. So this page, for instance, says, not me, says Grumpy Toad. My motorcycle has a flat tire. So there are 2 things that got brought up in this first section. Not me, says Emma. My car is too old and slow. So now there's Emma. Emma's a dog, but it doesn't mention that. And then not me, says Callie. My bus is a work of art. I'm not ready for racing. So now there's 6 things that have been brought up here. There's a motorcycle, a toad, someone named Emma, who's a dog, a green car, and then this bus, and then this cat. So that's a little bit too much. So you'd want to bring it down even further. If you wanted to use this page, you could cover it and just go to the toad and the motorcycle and say, like, where's the motorcycle or where's the toad? It's totally fine to take a piece of paper and cover up parts of the page so that there's less that he has to focus on. If you read through all of this and then said, where's the toad? There would be too much happening and it would be a little confusing for him to then think back like, oh, I heard the word toad, but I also heard so many other things happening on this page compared to this page where there's less happening. Another example with the book page where it could be good is like, I'll race you, says Pete, knowing how much turtles like to race. So now turtle has been brought up and Pete has been brought up. So then after that, you could on this page say, where's Pete? You would have to go back and explain, Pete is a cat. Meow. You could do that too so that he knows, like, oh, I'm looking for a cat. But Pete's pretty small. So again, I'd cover up the page and say, where's Pete? And then there's a few more things on this page. So there's a turtle, there's a car, there's a bike, there's a cat, there's green paint, but it's all on one page compared to this page where there's a lot of characters going on and there's a little bit too much happening. So you could read through any book that you want, but the pages that you ask him questions about should be pages where he's able to scan and see what exactly he's looking for. So this one, not a lot is happening compared to this one where a lot is happening. So that's the first part of the goal. The second part of the goal is that a picture can be in front of him and he could put it into sequential order. An example of this would be if there's this duck that has been copied and printed and it's in front of him. And literally one page is this top half of the duck where he sees this part of the duck. And then another page that has this part of the duck. And you put both in front of him and you say, fix the duck or like put together, and you do the motion of pushing things together. For a picture that has two pieces like that, all you'd have to do is just physically push the pictures together so that they're not overlapping, because sometimes he would do that. Make sure that he pushes it together, and you can even show him so that in the end, when he takes both individual pieces of paper that have been separated, like of a duck or a frog or anything, that he pushes it, and then you could see the whole image, which is now the duck that has been completed. It can be anything. It's easier to use a picture that has a beginning and an end, like this duck. Or because if you even cut this into 3, and then this was a part, and like there's an obvious neck here, and then here's the center, and then here's the tail. Like being able to push these things together so that he sees each individual picture is easier than you giving him this picture that's been cut, and he has to figure out where the car goes, if the turtle's in the middle, if Pete the cat is on the end. And I'll send you pictures of different things, and if you're able to cut them, that's great. And then if you're not, then you could just focus on the first part of the goal for now, until hopefully we get you access to pieces of the picture that he could push together. But that's the 4th reading goal. And again, when you're working on this goal, you want to give him small reinforcements throughout. So he's been sitting, and that's great. And you can tell him, you're sitting, here's a piece of popcorn. Or he didn't scream, or he didn't cry, and you're like, oh, you're sitting with a calm body. You have a calm body. Here's a piece of popcorn. And then throughout that as well, you could also ask him, like, what do you want to work for? Because you want to encourage him to build towards something. You can say, first, this goal, then get to play with a toy that he wants. But yeah, that's how to work on his 4th goal. If that second piece of the goal of pushing pictures together can't be done right now, then just focus on the book piece, where you can just read him until hopefully we get you access to pages that you can cut.